Hi everybody, you guys are doing so great. Welcome back to day 15 of Yoga Pants and Plants, 30 days of compassionate yoga. Today is self-discipline and we'll begin in a seated position. Yoga Pants and Plants, 30 days of compassionate yoga is an invitation to journey toward being in the present moment, an opportunity to emulate the way nature lives in the moment. Be like a plant. Don't worry how you look. Notice how you sense and respond, like the way a tree reaches for the sun or a source of water. Nourish yourself with movement and stillness. Allow compassion to flourish for a little bit of time every day. Day 15, Self-Discipline. Hello, yoga friends. Begin in a seated position with a pillow under your bottom if needed or on a chair. According to yoga philosophy, self-discipline is about transformation. It is about staying present during determined and focused effort to transform ourselves. Sit comfortably with your back straight, face, neck, and shoulders relaxed. Move your lips as if you have a straw. Relax your lips to be ready to make that shape for an exhale. Inhale fully through your nose. And then, as if there is a straw in your mouth, exhale fully and slowly. Make sure you exhale fully to be gentle. Do not force the breath out. Inhale again, slowly and fully, and exhale gently through the imaginary straw in your mouth. Inhale through your nose again. Exhale through the imaginary straw in your mouth. Place your hand on your abdomen. Feel the rising movement as you inhale and the falling movement as you exhale. So let's inhale for the count of 2 and exhale for the count of 3. Inhale to the count of 3 and exhale to the count of 4. Inhale to the count of 4 and exhale to the count of 5. Inhale to the count of 5 and exhale to the count of 6. Inhale to the count of 6 and exhale to the count of 7. Inhale to the count of 7 and exhale to the count of 8. Inhale to the count of 8 and exhale to the count of 9. Inhale to the count of 9 and finally exhale to the count of 10. Straw breathing is something that you can do to extend self-discipline. The way that we added 1 extra breath each time challenged us to stay focused in more complex ways. You did great. Let's move into Crocodile. Place a folded blanket on the floor and lay your belly in the crocodile pose. You can rest your head on your hands and breathe through the belly several times. Move the back of the head, gently lift up. Allow the body to return to the head on the hands and breathe. Try that lift up with an inhale and return on an exhale. Again, lift with an inhale and return with an exhale. Lift your head, but keep your gaze out on the mat in front of you. Move your arms so they are parallel to each other, resting on the ground from elbow to hand. Now lift the head from the back of the heart. Try that lift up with an inhale and return with an exhale. Again, lift with an inhale and return with an exhale. Once you are complete with that, return to the crocodile position for several breaths with your head on your two hands. Turn your head slowly toward the elbow of the arm that is touching your head. Place the other arm down the side of the body. Begin with a small movement of just lifting the elbow and setting it back down. Connect your head and hand. Next, lift your elbow and shoulder, but not straight up. Lift across the back toward the other hip. Come back down very slowly and then completely relax. Do that one more time, connecting your head and your hand, lifting your elbow and shoulder, and across toward the hip, the opposite hip. Next, thinking about that opposite hip, lift that leg and let it slowly rest down. The tendency is to go too big, so the lift doesn't have to be big. Notice if you are able to lift the opposite leg without recruiting muscles from the other leg. Slowly return the leg to the ground. Try it one time with the knee bent, placing the foot up in the air, and try lifting again. And how does that compare to having the leg straight out? Now gently lift the arm and the head at the same time as you lift the leg. And you can choose to lift the leg with it straight out or with the knee bent and the foot in the air. So try that 3 more times. The combined lifting of the arm and the head diagonally across the back at the same time as the leg lifting up and then releasing. And when you're complete, return to crocodile position with your head on both arms that are bent. Turn your head in the other direction and rest the arm that you had used for lifting down by your side. Begin with a small movement of just lifting the elbow and setting it back down. Connect your head and your hand. Then lift the elbow and the shoulder, but lift it across the back toward the other hip. Come back down very slowly and completely relax. Do that one more time. Next, lift the leg and slowly rest it down, remembering to use the muscles from that leg and not recruit them from other parts of the body. Slowly return the leg to the ground. Try it one time with the knee bent, the foot placing it in the air. Now gently lift the arm and the head across the back diagonally at the same time as that leg. And then try that 3 more times. Then bring both hands into Crocodile again with your head on your hands and breathe in such a way that you completely expand the belly. Gently roll over on your back and integrate all the work you just did. Let your legs go long. Notice how that feels. Enjoy 3 long breaths here. Breathe in through the nose. Feel the breath, the belly rise as you breathe in. Let go and relax the weight of the body into your mat as you breathe out. Enjoy the next 2 breaths with closed eyes or a soft, gentle focus. Notice your back and purposefully flatten the back toward the mat, feeling the front line of the body contract and release to neutral. Then purposefully arch the back, contracting the back line of the body and release to neutral. Bring your feet into an effortless rest position. Bring one foot closer to your bottom and press it to the ground. Allow the other leg to float up toward the ceiling with the knee bent. Notice how the hip bone is being held by gravity to sink into that hip socket. Take either your hands or a strap and place it around the thigh of the leg that is floating up. Gently pull the leg toward the chest. The knee may straighten, and that is okay. Return the leg toward the ceiling again and breathe in, pulling it toward the chest, and then release. Feeling the movement of the leg bone in the hip socket and the hamstring muscles. Return the leg toward the ceiling again and point and flex the foot and rotate the ankle one way and then the other. Now bend the knee and place the strap around the foot. Bring the leg bone into the hip socket again with the knee bent and slowly use the strap to move the leg from a bent knee position straight up toward the sky. And do that 3 more times. Now, leaving the foot on the strap with the leg straight up toward the ceiling, allow the leg to drop toward the ground. Only bring it as close to the ground as possible while maintaining a steady pelvis. If you move the leg too far, the back may arch. Try that 2 more times. Release the leg all the way to the ground and relax both legs. Notice the difference between the leg you have been exploring. How does it feel different than the foot that was pushing into the ground? Do you feel tightness on either leg? Do you feel energy on either leg? Bring feet into an effortless rest position and bring the other foot closer to your bottom and press it down to the ground. Allow the other leg to float up toward the ceiling with the knee bent. Notice how the hip bone is being helped by gravity to sink into the hip socket. Take either your hands or a strap and place them around the thigh of the leg that is floating up. Gently pull the leg toward the chest. The knee may straighten, and that's fine. Return the leg toward the ceiling again and breathe in, pulling it toward the chest, and then release. Feeling the movement of the large bone in the hip socket and the hamstring muscles. Return the leg toward the ceiling again and point and flex the foot, and then rotate the ankle one way and then the other. Now bend the knee and place the strap around the foot. Bring the leg bone into the hip socket again with the knee bent and slowly use the strap. Move the leg from a bent knee position straight up toward the ceiling. And then do that 3 more times. Now leaving the foot on the strap with the leg straight up toward the ceiling, allow the leg to drop to the ground, remembering to bring it only as close to the ground as possible while maintaining a steady, stable pelvis. And then try that 3 more times. Release the leg all the way to the ground. Relax both legs and notice how the legs feel now. Bring the knees into the body, hugging them, and roll into a fetal position. Rest on your side for 3 breaths. Gently move the body up, coming to a standing table position with the feet on the ground and the hands on the chair. Make sure the chair is against the wall so it doesn't slide. Move from cat to cow slowly several times and notice the mobility of the spine. Then come to the neutral position of table and step your feet back so you are in a modified plank. Hinge forward over the hands and hinge back over the feet. Feel the natural position of the spine. When you hinge forward, feel the strength in your core and the mobility of your shoulders. Both shoulders and hips have flexion and the spine is neutral. Move in rocking plank several more times. Now keeping your knees bent and your hands pressing firmly into the seat of the chair, walk your legs back, keeping your hips over your feet until you create an even diagonal line from your arms to your torso and your hips. If you feel tightness in the hips, hamstrings, or ankle joints, you may want to walk your feet a little further back than your hips. Keep your knees bent initially and work your hands, arms, and shoulders. Press your hands down forward on the chair as you allow your rib cage to move slowly away from your hands. Bring a sense of firmness to the muscles around the shoulder blades. You may be able to drop your heels toward the floor. If you have tight shoulders, beware of the tendency of your front lower ribs to drop or your back to arch dramatically to compensate. Focus instead on maintaining your torso in a neutral position like it is in mountain pose. Stay in this pose for 6 breaths. To come out of the pose, bend your knees and slowly walk forward toward the chair. When you are a foot or two from the chair, bend the knees and move from your hip joint coming up to standing. From this standing position, gather up all you need to rest in a final Savasana position. With great joy, move the body into a relaxed position. You definitely earned it and have been practicing self-discipline and letting go of perfection. Self-discipline is about showing up. Self-discipline helps you stay in Shavasana to relax. A lot of times it's easy to say, oh, I'm in a hurry. I don't need to do this relaxation. However, try it more and more often. Self-discipline is not something you have or don't have. It's something you choose to do more and more because of the transformation you seek. Allow time for silent relaxation, hearing just the sound of the music, and my voice will invite you back to end today's practice. The time has arrived for you to move from practice to the rest of your day. Gather your legs in a hug and roll into a fetal position. From here, take your time. Coming to a seated position. Giving thanks for the self-discipline you practiced today. Namaste. Now, as you rise from your mat, don't forget to eat more plants. You will feel and move better. Follow us for tips at flowingyan.com.